brainstorming session for last minute preparations regarding entrance coaching classes. Actually, we have been hearing a story since our childhood. Rather, I will say this story is very famous in Indian neighborhoods and Indian households since ages. Our father has also heard this story. Our grandfather has also heard this story in their respective childhoods. The story is very famous one. The hare and the tortoise. ಆನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮೊಲ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶ. All of us we know about it. The story of tortoise and hare. So today, for next 15 days, we all need to be hares or tortoises. That is left up to us. Those who are working steadily, hardly, and patiently since the very first class, since the day you joined the class, if you have worked well, studied well, prepared your own notes, solved your question papers, then these next 15 days are icing on a cake for you. Those guys who already performed well, they will be having an additional booster dose of COVID vaccine, third booster dose. Similarly, this 15 days will be a booster to their morale and their performance. Those guys who have prepared little bit, थोड़ा किया है, थोड़ा करना है, वो तो हमेशा ही होता है ना आयुर्वेद में, ना इधर के ना उधर के. So time do you have prepared something, time do you have not prepared something. These 15 days will be a, a boon for them because this period will be used by them to recover those areas which are lost or which are not being prepared well. And those students who just want to give an exam for the sake of trying their luck out, for them also this 15 days will be very important because they can pick up important areas and concentrate on them. The schedule for next 15 days should be based on certain logical principles. I will like to explain them in first. Let us enumerate them and then explain one by one. The first and foremost principle for next 15 days is the only time pass is change of subject. What is the first principle? The only time pass is change of subject. You have studied Rachana for a long period, read the Garbha Sharira, then you went on to Tvacha Sharira, then the number of sandhis and dastus and so, and then clinical anatomy. You are fed up by reading anatomy for last 2 and 3 hours, and now you want to pass the time because you are getting bored. What will be the time pass? The time pass will be change of subject. So the every single minute what we can use from here onwards should be used in a very practical way to secure maximum output out of it. Am I right? So the first principle is change of subject is the only time pass. The second principle is we have to work smart. We have to work hard. What should we do? Either smart or hard. No. Actually, what we are going to do is a combination of hard work and smart work. Every subject will be divided into three sub portions. One will be must to know, second will be better to know, and the third will be best to know. I repeat, we are not going to work alone smartly or work alone hardly. Rather, we are going to combine this hard work smartly. Okay, we are going to work hard smartly. And how that can be achieved? That can be achieved by dividing the subject in three portions. What are those three portions? One is must to know, second is better to know, and the third is best to know. Let us elaborate this with an example. Aditya, need a comment from you. Is it going good? Everybody able to connect me mentally?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So I would like to explain with one example. Let us take Marma Sharira. Knowing the number of marmas with their classification, how many Sandhigata, how many Astigata, how many are Siragata, etc. etc. Then how many are Sadhya Pranahara, how many of them are Kalandara Pranahara, which are Vishtabda, etc. Knowing this is must to know. Addition of Dhamani Marama by Vagbhata, must to know. What is better to know? The changes as compared to Sushruta and Vagbhata. From where did the new nine Dhamani Marmas a category came, which are reduced from which category as compared to Sushruta. This we will call as better to know. And what will be best to know? Best to know will be there are two marmas which are explained by Sushruta as Satya Pranara, which have been quoted as Kalantar Pranara by Vagbhata. So this differentiation at the pinpoint or at the tip of tongue will be the best to know. Dashaprana and their comparison. How many of them are explained as Sadhya Pranara and how many of them as Karantar Pranara? How many of them are explained as Siramarma? How many of them are explained as Sandhi Marma? This explanation and this classification in comparison with Sushruta and Charkas Dashaprana with respect to Marma Sharira will be best to know. There is only one difference between Marma Sharira of Ashtanga Sangraha and Ashtanga Hridaya. If we know that, that will be best to know. Are you getting it? In this similar way, we need to divide all the syllabus into three important portions. One will be must to know. 70% of the bulk of your question paper is going to arrive from this pocket. That will be must to know. In every subject, say for Dravya Guna, Latin names of all important 120 herbs and 200 plus non-important herbs. There are Saviri Vipaka, their important ingredient, then their Pradhana Guna. This will be must to know. Okay. Then the second will be better to know. What will be better to know? Important paryayas where they are overlapping, one or two important kalpas out of them. This will be better to know. And what will be the best to know? If there are any poisonous plants, then let us know about their antidotes. If there are any substitutes, pratinidhi dravas to these, let us have information about them. Any one or two important pharmacognostic principles or pharmacognostic identification techniques. Say, for example, Chakravha for Guduchi because it looks like a bullock cart wheel inside. So, such important things will be best to know. For every subject and for every topic in each subject, you have to find out what is must to know. And a student who wants to qualify must be very clear about must to know in all the subjects, all 18 respective subjects. You don't have Ayurvedic Ityasa separately. So, let us be there are 17 subjects. Okay. Similarly, better to know will be little bit deeper information, at times comparison, find out the differences, mark them. Best to know will be say some remote information. I will quote an example from Chikitsa. Pitta Parinama Shula is explained by Pitta Parinama Shula is nothing but cholelithiasis explained in Bhaishajya Ratnavali. Okay. From here we will go to Ayurveda Ityahasa. The names of chapters in various samhitas. In Rasataringani, what is called? Sorry, sorry, I missed it. It is from Rasataringani. Sorry. So the chapter of Rasataringani is called as Taranga. This is best to know. What are the sthanas of samhitas? What are the names of chapters, specifically Charaka and Sushruta? That is must to know. Ashtanga and Ashtang Hridaya and Ashtang Sangraha, better to know. Lahutrai, better to know. Going up to the details of Chakradatta and Rasataringani will be best to know. Similarly, you have to work on every chapter. Okay, so the first principle today we studied is change of subject is the only time pass. Second is a tripod division of every subject, giving more importance to must to know, then better to know, and then best to know. Let us come down to the third important principle. This is FAQ and RAQ. FAQ is frequently asked questions. FAQ is frequently asked questions, and RAQ is rarely asked questions. In every topic, you can divide it on two ways, one which is very frequently asked and the one which is rarely asked. Say, for example, Twacha Sharira is a FAQ, that is frequently asked question. Garbha Sharira is a frequently asked question. Anjali Parimana for various doshas is a frequently asked question, right? And what will be less frequently asked questions from Sharira? Let us try to understand. 8 reasons for Smriti. That will be rarely asked question of Sharira. Similarly, we can divide all the chapters into FAQs. Okay. So the third thing is FAQ and RAQ. How we can arrive at this conclusion? It is very simple by solving many question papers. Okay. When you solve a number of question papers, you find a certain group of topics will be repeating themselves in various different papers. And thus we can arrive at a conclusion of FAQ and RAQ. Let us come down to fourth principle of study, which we want to understand. And the fourth principle of study is marking important portions of samhitas. How that needs to be done? It is very simple. Sankhya, Saudnya, Upama, Prakara. These are the four things which you need to understand. Sankhya. Sankhya is nothing but the number. Trayametat Tridandavat. The word Tridanda should remain in your mind. Trayametat Tridandavat. Sankhya. Second is Saudnya. Saudnya means definition. And if anything is defined there, then you have to remember it. Nirvikara parasatma sattva bhuta gunendriyahi chaitanya chaitanyam pashyati kriya. Chaitanyam karanam drishtva nitya pashyati hi kriya. This is nothing but the definition. You have to remember such a definitions. Okay. The third thing is, along with the Saudhya, what we are going to see is Upama. If there are certain similes, those should be given more importance. The Varna of Samyak Dagdha will be Tala Phalavat. Chikitsa of Atidagdha will be Visarpavat. So, such certain similes. The similes may be from some other disease, they may be from various atmospheric explanations. Say, Bandhu Jivaka Sannibham is color of normal, Shuddha Varna of Rakta, right? So similarly, all the similes, it may cover certain colors of flowers and fruits and sizes. Karkandhu Samapramanam. What is this? Bastinetra. So similarly, these upamas need to be also given equal importance. There is one more way of using upamas by our acharyas. What are those? Those are for explaining certain changes happening inside the body by virtue of processes inhibiting outside the body. I repeat, upamas are of two ways. One is depending on the color, texture, size, etc. of the various natural ingredients such as fruits and flowers and otherwise. And the second way where these upamas are used is to understand a process or a rhythm inside the human body on the basis of a external procedure which is very commonly and well known to all of us. Let us take one example. All of us know that Sausarjana Krama is explained in Charaka Samhita. Siddhisthana. The example is Truna, Gomaya, Kashtadhibhir, Vannihi, Yatha, Mahan, Sthirah, Sarva, Pachakshamet Bhavet, Tadvat. So, by use of Truna, Gomaya, and Kashtha, the Agni will respectively become Mahan, Sthira, and Sarvapacha. Try to understand. बोली यावागोदर ಹೊತ್ಸಿದ್ರಪ್ಪ कभी चूल्हा जलाया है बच्चों तो देखो पहले क्या किया जाता है थोड़ा सा रॉकेल या पेट्रोल या डीजल डाला जाता है नीचे एक काउडंग केक रखा जाता है उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा ऑयल डाल के ऊपर कुछ कागज या फिर कुछ ग्रास सूखी घास ऐसे रख के उसको जलाया जाता है तो पहली अवस्था में क्या होता है जैसे जब तक वो तेल या जब तक ये कागज है तब तक अग्नि बड़ा महान बहुत बड़ा अग्नि का स्रोत रहता है परंतु वो कैसा रहता है स्थिर नहीं होता है the moment the grass will be burnt out the moment the papers will be burnt out the moment the oil will be burnt out what will happen if you don't supply fuel again what the agni will burn out so that's why though it is mahana it is not sthira but once because of the oil which has been poured on the cowdung cake if the cowdung itself gets ignited then what happens it will be sthira the agni upale jo hoti hai na ಸೆಗಣಿ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸೆಗಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭರಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಸ್ಥಿರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ if a cow dung cake gets burnt once then what will happen it will burn for a longer period so how it will become now sthira And then what you do is you add little bit smaller pieces of sticks, fire sticks to it. Then it goes on increasing, increasing, increasing. And a moment will come when the Agni will be sthira, mahan, and at times in a large flame of Agni, if one or two sticks which are little bit wet, they are also put. What will happen? Those will also burn. If a few drops of water are wasted on the flame when you are putting it in the vessel, what will happen? If the Agni is Mahan and Sarva Pacha, it will digest those few drops of water also. This has been explained as Sarva Pacha, able to digest everything. So similarly, when you are going to use first Peya, then Manda, then Vilepi, the Agni will be Mahan, Sthira, and Sarvapacha. And once the Agni becomes Sarvapacha, what is going to happen? If little bit of Apatyahara Vihara is also being done, little bit of Viruddha occasionally is being consumed, then it will be of a power or of a capacity to digest that Apachakshama medicines or Ahara also. Getting the example I have explained? This example is also a simile, but the simile represents the process of igniting Jatharagni by virtue of explaining it through a very household example of flame in a environment. So if you come across such a various different upamas where the methodology or where the mode of action has been explained, those are also important. Ranindra, I will give certain examples. उदीर्यते भ्रशतरं मार्गारोधात् वहज्जलं यथा तथा निलस्य मार्गं नित्यम् एनं विशोधयेत्. श्वास चिकित्सा. Okay. One more famous example is in the caves of Himalaya, what happens is though the directly sunlight is not passing inside the caves, but still the temperature increased externally on the roof of the particular mountain which hails the caves. The external heat will make the ice inside the caves melt. And similarly, the kapha present inside the lungs will be melting by Nadi Prastara Sankara Sweda given in Shwasa Chikitsa. Aktam Lavana Tailena Nadi Prastara Sankarihi. Charka has given example of this example in explaining the rationale behind Sweda being given in Shwasa Vikara. Okay, so this is the way in which we need to understand the various upamas being given. And now I come down to the last point that is prakara. Dvau ashrayo jvarasya sharira manasa. Where there is number, where there are types, we need to grab them, make them mark and revise them. So these will be the portions which will be attracting maximum number of questions originating from Samvedas. Sankhya, Saudnya, Upama, Prakara. Okay. So these are the four principles which I will like you to remember. You select out FAQ portions from all of them. Say, for example, prepare a Rasa chart, prepare Uparasa chart, prepare a Sadharan Rasa chart, name, Paryayas, then chemical composition, then Samanya Shodhana, then Ashuddhi Sevanjanna Vikara, then one Marana, and then its uses. Prepare a chart, paste it somewhere in your room, when you are brushing your teeth, when you are sitting on your toilet seat. Why to waste that period? Let us use this period for a good time pass, that is change of subject. So with these four important principles, I will like to summarize the first portion of the lecture in which I have tried to explain what will be our state of mind and how our focus should be in next coming 15 days. Now let us come to the second portion of the class, that is time management. How we are going to manage this time for next 15 days. Maximum or optimal utilization of the present time should be our concern. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಇಡೀ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷನೇ ಹೋಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 15 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್? ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 10,000 questions ಆಫ್ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ತಗೋತಾನೆ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಚರಕ್ ಸಂಹಿತ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸುಶ್ರುತ, ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಓದಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಓದ್ದಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಜಿ ಪ್ರಭಾಕರ್ ರಾವ್ ಬುಕ್ಕ ಸಿಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಓದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ सब्जेक्ट ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ सर? इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. कष्ट ಇದೆ सर. समझ में आ रहा है ना? नहीं सर, अभी 15 दिन बचे, 15 दिन में कहाँ पढ़ेंगे सर? कोई शॉर्ट टेक्स्ट बुक ऑफ सरक संहिता, नोट्स ऑन सुश्रुत संहिता, ऐसी छोटी छोटी किताबें मिलती है ना बाजार में, उनको लेके पढ़ के काम खत्म कर देंगे. दिस में बी थॉट कमिंग इन योर माइंड. मुझे थोड़ा सा यहाँ पर आपत्ति है इस विचार के लिए, और मैं आप लोगों से एक प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूँ. बहुत भूख लगी है. क्या हुआ है? बहुत भूख लगी है. यू आर टू हंग्री. आपके सामने एक आदमी बैठ के खाना खा रहा है. देयर इज प्लेंटी ऑफ राइस. आपको जो जो कुछ मिठाई पसंद है वो बहुत सारी उस थाली में है. उसने थोड़ा खाना खा दिया और चल के उठ के चला गया. अब जो बचा है वो उसका झूठा खाना है. आपको कितनी भी भूख लगी है तो क्या आप उस आदमी का झूठा खाना खाएंगे? अगर नहीं, तो ये शॉर्ट नोट्स ऑफ चरक संहिता भी जिसने चरक पढ़ा उसका झूठा बचा खाना है. His understanding of Charak Samhita and his the shlokas which he thought that they are important for Charaka are being given in a plate, or are served in a platter to you. Please remember that this is his understanding, not yours. उसका झूठा खाना है. ಇನ್ನು ಬ್ರೆಂಜಲು ಮುಸ್ರಿ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ತಿನ್ಬೋದು. ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸೇರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ತಿನ್ಬೋದಪ್ಪ, ನಮ್ಗೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಅಭ್ಯಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಐ ವೋಂಟ್ obstruct you, or I won't say no to you if you want to eat that somebody's wasted food. So don't rely on such books. These books are of small books. These books are their own point of view of those authors, whatever they feel important. That is not how it is being run. It is not how the question papers are conducted by a survey of last 20, 25 years in this field. I have stated what is the royal way to work on it. Please remember, there are no shortcuts to success. There is only one national highway which will lead to success, and that is, my dear friends, please try to remember, smartness or cleverity or intelligence can be overpowered by hard work. At times, intelligence and ability will also be can be overtaken by hard work, but no intelligence can overtake hard work. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಆನೇನು ಮೊಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಐದರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ tortoise or we are on the side of prayer. I repeat, there is no shortcut to success, and the only national highway which leads to success is hard work. So start working today. Right on, right from here. I'm very pretty sure that you can give your best. Don't think of the marks that you may get in the exam. Don't think of the rank that you may secure after examination. I take an example here. There is a 100-meter World Olympics gold medal race. People have started running. And if the best runner like Usain Bolt starts thinking in what time he is going to complete the race, no matter in what time he complete, I will assure you that he is not going to win. Because when he is running, he should not think of the timing. He should only thinking of giving his best. And then only he will be succeeding. So forget about the marks you may get. Forget about the score or the rank you're going to get. Just for the next 15 days, concentrate on what you have in your hand. Fools always think of past. Dreamers always think of future. And the realistic, rational people will think of present. अब मुझे अगर इतने मार्क मिले तो मुझे वो गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज का वो सीट मिलेगा, फिर उसमें इतना स्टाइपेंड होगा, फिर मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड का इतना स्टाइपेंड होगा, फिर हम दो लोग मिलके एक्सेट्रा 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 एक्सेट्रा. दिस ऑल इज डे ड्रीमिंग नॉनसेंस. कॉल माय फ्रेंड्स, इट इज अपोजिट. मेरे बॉयफ्रेंड की इतना स्टाइपेंड होगा, वो जेंडर बायस हो जाता है ना. आजकल तो आयुर्वेद में लड़कियां ही ज्यादा है, तो जेंडर बायस भी निकालना पड़ता है. चलो. So what I was explaining is, what is going to happen you after the exams is not important. What would have happened if you have studied well is also not important. Just concentrate on the presence, what you are having today. For the next 15 days, try to give your best. This is the only way to achieve to success. Don't regret, don't forget, don't bluster, don't depress yourself on the basis of what you have done till today, till this moment. Just think of what you can do from here onwards to your examination. This is what I would like to convey you. नहीं, मुझे पहले बहुत अच्छे मार्क पड़ते थे, एग्जाम जैसे जैसे पास में आ गई उसके बाद में मेरा परफॉर्मेंस खराब हो गया। मेरा पीयू का परसेंटेज बहुत अच्छा है, पर वो एंट्रेंस में है ना सर, फिजिक्स में 4 मार्क आए, 5 मार्क आए, 8 मार्क आए, 10 मार्क आए। Every second student out of you will be having this story. Why? Because they boasted on their marks which they have secured in PU, or the mock exams or the tests being conducted in the year of PU. No, one has to think on the present. Okay, so those who will be increasing their performance, those who want to augment their performance, should always think of the present. So this was about the time management. The third thing is, out of this time management era only, there is something called as behavioral pattern. What? Behavioral pattern. In the language of neurology, it is called as behavioral reflex. What it is called as? It is called as behavioral reflex. You might feel it difficult to digest. I start with an example. We know there are many people out of us who are habitual to tea, who are habitual to boys. Shall I spell it out? Okay. Not Ayurveda boys, but others. Smoking, who are habitual to tobacco eating, who are habitual to eating something or other. You might have seen many of us. नहीं, वो सुबह जब तक एक कप चाय नहीं पीते ना तब तक वो मोशन क्लियर नहीं होता. Is there any really relation between the tea you drink and the motions? No. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಎಷ್ಟಾದ್ರೂ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಒಂದೇ ತುತ್ತು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ, ಮೇಲ್ ಒಂದ್ ಸಿಗರೆಟ್ ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾರ್ದೆ ಡೈಜೆಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. This is one way we are going to explain. Please give me a minute. I have a call to attend. Okay, guys, I'm joining back. Aditya, is it audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Aditya, yes. Okay. So where I was trying to explain. कहा था मैं, क्या बता रहा था, भूल गया. क्या बता रहा था,
Neurological.
किसी को याद है? Can someone please
Neurological.
tell me what I was telling? Yes.
Behavior, sir.
Hello. Yes, I was
सर
speaking about
बिहेवियरल
behavioral
रिफ्लेक्स।
difference. Yes. चलो, कोई एक तो बच्चा जग रहा है, कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. मुझे लगा सब लोग लॉग इन होके बाद में अपना अपना काम करने के लिए चले गए. या स्प्लिट स्क्रीन करके इसको बंद करके कोई व्हाट्सअप देख रहा है, कोई फेसबुक देख रहा है, ऐसा कुछ। चलो चलो, कोई बात नहीं, देयर इज एटलीस्ट समवन हु इज listening to me. Great, great, great. Okay. So I was speaking about behavioral reflexes. So we listen people that no sir, without smoking I can't get digestion, without drinking a cup of tea I can't pass motions, daily I have this habit, daily I have that habit, blah 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 blah. Okay. So can anybody please explain me by virtue of physiology how this is going to happen? In what sense or in what way this constipation is related to the cup of tea or it is related to smoking? My dear friends, please try to understand. It is no way related. It is only the conditional reflex present in that individual who has made this a habit, that drinking a cup of tea and then going to toilet. Over a period of time, he has trained his body in a such a fashion that when he drinks a cup of tea, automatically his body prepares himself for the next thing, and that is the that is relieving the constipation. Or in other words, whenever he wants to go to toilet, he needs a cup of tea. This is called as behavioral reflex or conditional reflex. It's a process well established in neurology. Why I am explaining this neurological fact in this class? It is important to find out your behavioral reflex or your conditional reflex. Make your body habitual to reading the important portions you want to by heart at the same time of the day in same place of your room. कोई एक ही जगह पर बैठ के रोज एक ही वक्त पर, सॉरी, रोज एक ही वक्त पर अगर आप एक ही काम करना शुरू करेंगे तो स्लोली 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 आपका शरीर उस चीज का आदी हो जाता है. योर बॉडी गेट्स कंडीशन टू दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. द कंसेप्ट ऑफ टेम्पल, concept of puja room in our households is nothing but implementation of this conditional reflexing of our body. Everybody's brain can be conditioned in this way, that during a particular time of day, at a particular place, start reading the same things again and again and again in a very smaller period of time. Say if you need something to buy, if you need to read something 10 or 20 times to buy her, if you do it at the same time and same place, perhaps it will be by hearted or it will be remembered in lesser times. Say if you need to read it 10 times before, if you follow the same time and same place, it will be remembered in 5 repetitions only. Use it wisely, use it nicely. Same portions at the same time and at the same place of the day. This is key to remember the things very easily. Okay. So there is one more only aspect remaining in the time management that we will consider, and then we will move to the third portion of the today's lecture. And that important portion of time management lies with the knack of revisions. Usually, I'm speaking about knack of revisions, but the more important topic to be spoken with our boys is lack of revisions. So, from lack to knack is the way we want to decide, or is the way we want to go ahead. Everybody should remember a day or that day on which you first drove your two wheeler. You started learning driving a two wheeler. Everybody of you try to remember it. Specifically, if it is a bike with a geared, which is a geared vehicle, then see how many things you need to do. First thing is you have to balance your feet, balance the vehicle. Second thing is you have to put on the clutch. Third thing is you have to put on the gear. Fourth thing is you have to slowly release the clutch. At the same time, you have to slowly increase the acceleration or raise it. And then after all this, you have to again look at the road also, see at the vehicles which are passing by, follow the traffic rules. How hectic this was. Everybody of us has explained or has experienced this on the first day when we tried to drive a two wheeler. Am I right or wrong? And now very eloquently we do it on and often. अब हम ये करते करते फोन पर भी बात करते हैं, फोन पर बात करते करते गाड़ी चलाते हैं, इधर उधर भी देखते हैं, किसी से बात भी करते हैं, हाय हेलो करते हैं, रोड के ऊपर के बोर्ड भी पढ़ते हैं, रोड के ऊपर दिखने जैसी अच्छी चीजें हैं, से व्हीकल्स एक्सेट्रा, नॉट द पैसेंजर्स, तो उनको भी देख लेते हैं. हाउ विल मैनेज दिस ऑल? बिकॉज वी हैव बीन repeatedly doing that exercise of driving a vehicle over a period of time, and we have toned our brain that a larger portion of our brain and mind will be still free while driving this vehicle. What was happening on the day one when we tried to drive this vehicle? The most portion of our mind and brain was occupied in synchronizing these all functions, which I explained right now. And that's why there were no other thoughts and no other scenes visible to us. So all the other scenes were present, but we were not able to see them because our mind and our brains were preoccupied. So as you get repeatedly doing the same thing, that's why the old saying is practice makes man perfect. If you want to revise fast, there is only one way to do it. And what is that one way? Just give me a second. I have another call to attend. Sorry, guys, there are frequent disturbances, but as the function is going on here outside, I have certain important calls to attend. So let us come back to the topic. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Where I was, can somebody please remind me?
Revision, sir.
What I was telling? Yes, I was telling about the revision. So by doing the same thing repeatedly, we can increase the speed of revisions. So similarly, what I will like to suggest you is, if you start revising Charak Samhita by taking Samhita in your hand, and if you had prepared notes out of it, the notes will be say somewhere about 100 pages. Then you can reduce it to 50 pages. Not to boast, but to just make it or bring it to your notice. The last revision of my Charak Samhita, when I was doing my entrance coaching classes, was on a piece of paper of the size of your palm. पूरी चरक संहिता को हमने छोटा 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 करते हुए एक अपने पाम के साइज के एक पेपर पे लिख लिया था। इस तरह से होता है। आपको रिवीजन का स्पीड बढ़ाना है। इफ यू वांट टू इंक्रीज द स्पीड ऑफ रिवीजन, देयर इज ओनली वन वे, practice makes man perfect. Increase the number of revisions you are committing, and as there will be more revisions, there will be lesser time required, and there will be sharper be your intellect. Answers will be present at your tip of tongue. That will boost your confidence, and confidence will definitely bring out the best out of you, right? So this is the lack of revisions. If you feel that your revisions are bored, if you feel that your revisions are taking more time, if you feel that your revisions are not up to the mark, then there is only one way to answer these all queries and questions and doubts, and that is revise more, more, and more. And this is how we can move from lack of revision to lack of revision. Okay. So with this, I complete the second session of time management. And now let us come to the third last important session, which will be almost another 10 minutes. And then it will be open for questions. All of you are familiar of Mahabharata? Yes, you might be. Rather, you should be.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we all are aware of the capacities of Arjuna, what he had. Going back to the pre-Mahabharata big war, there were four skirmishes or there were four occasions on which Arjuna had single-handedly defeated all of these. Bhishma, Drona, Shwatthama, Karna, and etc. 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 You all remember those four occasions. What are those four occasions? One is the Shastra Pariksha, second is at the Virata's home, third one is at the Khandava Vana, and the fourth one is at the Draupadi uh, Swayamvara. These are the four occasions on all which single-handedly Arjuna has defeated all of the Kauravas, along with Bhishma, Drona, Krupacharya, Ashwatthama, and Karna, etc., etc., blah, blah, and blah. Fine. But in spite of all this, what happened in Bhagavad Gita? What happened at the Great War? Arjuna was in a position of dilemma, doubt. Sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishushyati vepatushcha mama sharire. Bhagavad Gita, first chapter. His mouth was dry, his hands were trembling, he had sweating on his forehead, and he was feeling himself very restless and anxious because he had to fight it out with these Kauravas. This we call it as performance anxiety. What is this? This is performance anxiety. And to overcome this performance anxiety, it is very important that you should bring back your confidence. And what Krishna did to Arjuna, he just brought back his confidence. And how he brought back? By explaining Bhagavad Gita. Forget about all the Gita. There are only two shlokas out of Gita which can summarize the whole of Upadesha given by Krishna to Arjuna at this point of time. What was that? The first slok was Uddharayad Atmanam, Natmanam Avasadayat, Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Ripuratmanah. You can elevate yourself or you can depress yourself. By elevating yourself, you can prove that you are the best friend of yourself. By underestimating yourself, you can prove that you are the worst enemy an individual can have. So you yourself can be the good friend or a foe to yourself. And it is dependent on whether you think positive about yourself or you think negative about yourself. मैंने गेल सीट से बकरे नहीं सर ऐसे ही लिखना करके लिखा है सर मुझे कहाँ मिलेगा सर सीट अगर ये एटीट्यूड होगा तो देन you are never going to get it. Believe your capacities. Be ready to give your best. and with the confidence that yes, you are going to give your best and achieve it, go with a positive frame of mind. The second sloka is Ma Faleshu Kadachana. What is going to be the result of this? Don't think of it. Just give your best, whatever you can do. Okay. So to overcome the performance anxiety, what is needed is there are three important trayopastambhas. What are those? Ahar, Nidra, and third thing. So, so take good food, take good sleep. Without food, a man can survive for 40 days. Without sleep, he cannot survive for 10 days. So Nidra is more important than ahara. You can skip a meal on a day, but you cannot skip the sleep on that particular day. 2 to 3 days before your exam, you should have 8 hours of good sound sleep. Okay, there is nothing going to happen if you take a night out on the day before to exam. It is rather going to reduce your performance and give you performance anxiety and bring judgmental error. So to overcome this, have 8 hour good sleep at least 3 days before for the 3 days before the examination. Okay, take homely made food, avoid spicy items, avoid non-vegetarian food, eat the food which is easy to digest, which you are accustomed with for the last week of your examinations. Okay, this is about food. And the third thing, better there is no need to explain about the third upastamba. Now let us come down to the time management inside the exam hall. Don't stop to a question if you are not able to answer it. Just keep that question, go ahead. You should divide the question paper in such a three areas. One, you are very confident and you are pretty sure that this is the answer, and you don't need some calculations or some drawings or some mental exercise to answer it. The answers which you can readily answer, the questions which you can readily answer should be given or should be solved in first try. Where you need certain mental exercises, say fourth twacha, if you are able to remember it, fine. Answer it in the first day. If you want to count Avabhasini, Lohita, Benta, Amra, etc., 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 okay, Shweta and Tamara, then you keep it in the second row. When you need to calculate something, when you need to simulate something, do a mental calculation, draw a figure, and then answer, keep these questions into the second portion. And the third round of a questions will be the luck by chance answers, all the skills all you have acquired in the 3 years of BMS, फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड ईयर में इन कैमरा कॉपी कैसे करना है, कैसे किसी को पूछना है, कैसा किसी का देखना है, ये सब स्किल्स आपने 3 साल बीएमएस में जो बहुत अच्छे से ग्रूम किए हैं, उनका यूज करने का तीसरा राउंड होता है. So divide the question paper in three rounds. One, which you can readily answer. Second, where you need certain calculations. And third, where you need some external help. Try to solve all the questions which you are very sure in the first round, then come down to the second round, and then come down to third round. Okay, this is about the time management inside the hall. If you are not sure for a question, don't stuck there. Leave that question, leave the round out ahead of the question, and then go to the next question. Every time you are solving, please once again confirm the question number and then only answer. Okay. Now there is no OMR sheet. You have to answer it on computer. Right now, Dilip, ಈಗ computer exam ತಾನೆ? ಆದಿತ್ಯ, ದಿಲೀಪ್ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರಪ್ಪ ಆನ್ಲೈನು?
Yes, sir. Computer based exam.
ಹಾ, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. ಸೊ ಬೇರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಸಿಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್.
ಇಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ sir. Only they will give white paper, sir, for making it
Okay.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Okay, fine, fine. We can skip the questions.
Yes,
Dilip?
sir. We can skip
Yes.
the question. Negative marking is there, sir.
That I know, but we can skip a question if you want to and try later. Is that possible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem.
Okay, fine. So whenever you are not sure, you please skip that question, go to the next one which you can answer, and finally then you can once again have a look at all the questions which you have skipped. So with these words, I will like to finish the third portion of the class, and now let us come down to the conclusion 5 minutes of the class. I will like to quote a shloka. उद्यमेन हि सिद्ध्यन्ति न हि कार्याणि मनोरथैः. I repeat. उद्यमेन हि सिद्ध्यन्ति न हि कार्याणि मनोरथैः न हि सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रवेशन्ति मुखे मृगाः. न हि सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य ಪ್ರವೇಶಂತಿ ಮುಖೇ ಮೃಗಾಃ. ಒಂದು ಕಾಡು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಡು ಗೊತ್ತು ತಾನೆ? All of you know a forest. There is a lion in forest and there is a deer in the forest. All of us know that in last 1,000 years, every time a lion has tried to follow a deer, who has won the competition? It is the lion who has won the competition. All the deers know this. All the lions know this. And all of us also know this. But ever you have seen that the deer has surrendered to a lion, the lion has opened the mouth and deer had jumped inside the lion's mouth. Have you ever seen this? No. Capacities and capabilities set aside. One needs to do udyama and collective, comparative, good, honest effort to achieve something. Udyamena hi siddhyanti. You can achieve something by good, coordinated efforts. Nahi karyani manorthaihi. You cannot achieve it by just dreaming it. Nahi suptasya simhasya. ಒಂದು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರೋ एक जगह पर बैठे हुए सिंह के मुख में प्रवेशंति मुखे मृगाः डियर आके खुद अपने से अंदर नहीं कूदता है उस शेर को उस डियर का पीछा करना पड़ता है तब जाके कहीं वो शिकार हो जाती है okay? There is lot difference between dream and aim. Dream and aim. The dream, when coordinated with determination, can be converted into aim. Kanasu ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆನಸು. Okay, so converting a dream into aim is only possible with determination, and determination decides the direction. So with these words, I wish best of luck to all of you with the positive frame of mind. Utilize these last 15 days. I'm very sure that in these 15 days, you can give your best and achieve the maximum or utilize the maximum potential which is present inside you. Now it is open for questions. Any questions, please? ಎದ್ದೇಳ್ರಪ್ಪ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಕೈತಲ್ವಾ ನಿದ್ದೆ 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಎದ್ದೇಳ್ರಿ ಎದ್ದೇಳು
Hello, sir.
ಮಂಜುನಾಥ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವಿ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಹಸ್ ಸೀನ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಸ್ ಗೋ ಹೆಡ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್
Yes, sir. ಈಗ ಅಸರ್ಷನ್ ರಿಸನಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಈಗ 2 years ಆಯ್ತು.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅಸರ್ಷನ್ ರಿಸನಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ APGT ಲಿ.
ಹಾ ಅಸರ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೀಸನಿಂಗ್ ಎಸ್ ಎಸ್ ಎಸ್
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ಓಕೆ
ಲಾಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು 8 to 9 ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಓದೋಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಸರ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೀಸನಿಂಗ್ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸ್ ಸೊ though there are 8 to 9 lines being explained there, the important quintessence, which is the assertion out of it, you need to find out. And this can be very easily done by a practice. Assertion and reasoning ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು 5 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಭಾಳದ್ರ 10 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಮಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಗಳಂತೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. A and R can be also very easily answered once you are acquainted with it. I will speak to Dilip and we will give a separate paper for A and R. Dilip, make it a point that we will give a question bank of A and R to all our students.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಮೆಸೇಜ್
Yes, anything
ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ
more?
ಸರ್.
Yes, anything more?
ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 20-25 ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ A&R ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್.
Okay, good. ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. See, the number of A and R
ಬರ್ತಿದೆ.
as the A and R questions are going to increase, it is being thought by our people that we should move to the next level of multiple choice questions. What has happened, unfortunately, is without understanding the subject, students are just by hurting the matters and getting marks in multiple choice questions. The very motive of putting the way of multiple choice questions was to increase the understanding of the concept. ಈಗ ನಾವು BMS ಓದುವಾಗ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೇವೆ, ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೈಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು BMS ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ PU ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, PU ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, MCQ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ವೈ? Because the understanding of concept is more necessary in MCQs. What happens is in multiple choice questions also, people have started reading and biharating the questions and going ahead with the answers. So again, the talent is not being justified nicely. So A and R pattern is an Public Service Commission pattern. It has been used in KPSC, UPSC patterns, and it's a good way to ask the question. But it's just the practice which will make you to find out what is the assertion. And once we have find out the assertion, then reasoning can be very easily calculated and very easily marked out of the four options. We will give some more time to it. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನನಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಮೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೇ ದಿಲೀಪ್
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಹೊಸ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ನೇ ಇದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಬಿನ್
ಹಾ
ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಡ್
ಹಾ
ಬೈ
ಹಾ.
ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಿಷನ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮೈಸೂರು. ವೈ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಸರಿ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಮಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್
ಓಕೆ
ಮೋರ್ ದನ್
ಸರ್.
ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರ್? To understand A and R, what you have to do is you have to frame yourself as if you are the person who want to make a question, or you have to create a question out of that paragraph. अगर ये भूमिका में आप चले जाते हैं ना, आप वहां पर एग्जामिनी के भूमिका में नहीं, एग्जामिनर की भूमिका में उसको पढ़ना चाहिए. अगर मैं इसे ठीक से पढ़ूं और मुझे इसमें से एक एंड आर का क्वेश्चन निकालना है तो मैं क्या निकालूंगा, ऐसा जब सोचेंगे ना तो बिल्कुल आपके आंसर सामने आपके आ जाता है. What you need to do is you have to think as if you are an examiner and you want to ask something out of it. And if you go to that frame of mind, then answering A and R becomes very easy. Okay, we will give some more time to it. उसको थोड़ा elaborate करेंगे फिर कभी. आज मैं prepared नहीं हूँ उसके लिए. Any more questions, please?
ಸರ್
Yes.
ಮಾಡರ್ನ್
Any
ಟರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
questions?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
Modern?
ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಸರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್.
ಇಲ್ರಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ನೋಡಿ ಅನ್ನ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಒಗ್ಗರಣೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಚಿತ್ರಾನ್ನ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಒಗ್ಗರಣೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಪುಳಿಯೋಗರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಒಗ್ಗರಣೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಂಗಿಬಾತ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇರೋದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮೇನ್ ಕನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ನಮ್ದೇ. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಒಂದು 20 ಬಾಳಾದ್ರೂ 30 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ the FAQs, that is frequently asked questions, covering the whole of modern syllabus is next to impossible. We can't do that. What you have to find it out is find out the, say for example anatomy. Just go to clinical anatomy. Just go to certain nomenclatures and certain symbol is being used, which is Boxer's muscle, what is normal weight of uterus, which is the Smiler's muscle, which is the longest muscle. So just try to find out some important attracting questions. Go in the mind of an examiner. If you want to ask something, what you will pick it out. Most of the times, it is related to the clinical aspect in case of anatomy and physiology. And in case of other subjects, again, the same thing, give importance to definitions, give importance to types, give importance to dimensions being explained. This will serve the purpose. This is what I feel. For modern, you can go to the handbooks of anatomy, handbooks of physiology. That can be done because we need an already processed food there. But that is not the case with Ayurveda. For Ayurveda, prepare your own material, and for allopathy, you can go with the ready reckoner guides which are available in the market. Yes. I hope I have answered your question.
So anybody can share your opinion regarding today's class. Or else you can have any doubts or queries, you can also ask to sir. Shema, Srusti, anybody can share your opinion.
भजन झालं बाळा, भजन झालं.
Hello. Namaste, sir.
Yes.
Uh, Actually, it is very motivating. Like when I hear your voice, also, sir, it is like very motivating to hear whatever you are saying. But it is like so many days after when the exam date come, it's very difficult. After preparation, also, it's very difficult to continue the consistency or confidence or whatever uh, we need to, for the exam. So, what to do for that?
This is purely dependent on the phase of mind you are. I go back to the day on which I appeared for the examination in Karnataka. It goes back to say April 2006, almost 16, 17 years back. I was preparing for certain one exam which was being prepared in Maharashtra. I was very positive frame of mind that I will get a seat in Maharashtra. I appeared the exam. Unfortunately, my score was very bad. And then we had a Karnataka exam in front of us. We had a Jamnagar exam in front of us. So we started preparing for Karnataka exam. And what happened is suddenly the Karnataka exam got postponed. So at that time, there were only 6 seats available for out of state candidates in Karnataka. 3 in Panchakarma at Bangalore and 2 in Siddhanta, 5 seats. And there were almost 1,000 candidates. So I had written one paper in my room, 5 at numerator and 1000 at denominator. And we were trying to make myself that I should come out of the first 5 so that I can get a seat. So suddenly the exam got postponed. And then I went to my mentor and I told him that, sir, ये कर्नाटक एग्जाम तो पोस्टपोन हो गया, सारा टेम्पो खराब हो गया, अब कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं रहेगा, परफॉर्मेंस कैसे होगा, कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है, आई एम फेड अप। तो मेरे मेंटर ने मुझे कहा कि बेटा देखो ऐसा है, तुम अकेले फेडअप नहीं हुए, पूरी दुनिया फेडअप हुई है। All the students who are going to sit the exam, all of them are in the same phase of mind. What you have to do is, almost all of them will be losing their confidence. This is the right time when you have to gain your confidence. Go back home, tore that paper where you have written 5 divided by 1000 or 5 upon 1000, make it 1 upon 1000. And I came back to my room and I really did so that I decided that I will be the topper in this examination and started with the new zeal. And it turned out I had 86 marks or 87 marks probably if I don't, if I remember out of 100. And the second candidate was lying somewhere on the 79. So there is no reason to get disturbed. There is no power in the world which is going to disturb us. Be in positive frame of mind. Whatever time we have, whatever the best effort we can give, we have to just concentrate on that. If exam date is going to change, it is for all of them. If it is early, it is early for all of us. If it is going late, it is late for all of us. It is nothing separate for us. Just give your best. This is the only answer I have to tell to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Dilip. So
Yes, sir.
I
So
can go offline.
thank you very much, sir. It's a very brainstorming session, very motivative session, sir. Thank you very much for coming and motivating our students, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so best of luck all to all of the students and come out with a good flying colors. Don't think of the result. Just give your best, and definitely you will be coming out with flying colors. Chalo. See you once again. Best of luck. Bye bye.
Okay, we'll leave meeting today. So next.